Okay, guys, so part 2, as promised. This is a Bible commentary online that you can use, and I wanted to show it to you because I feel that the majority of you will be using the online stuff. If this is a new process for you, you do not have a commentary probably just sitting around. This is really hard to look at through my phone. Okay, so the website that you can get all of these resources for free is blue, as in the color, Blue Letter Bible. .org, O-R-G. So BLUELETTER.BIBLE.org. And so when it comes up, I despise this thing. This is what it looks like. Okay, so you're going to go over here and you're going to touch where it says to search the Bible. Right here, you're going to go to Ecclesiastes, and you're going to hear my kids on the door. You can just type in the abbreviation for the book. Okay, so Ecclesiastes 1, that's where we're going to be starting. And I'm going to go down and choose my version. So I'm going to use, because my personal Bible is a New King James Version, I'm going to choose that. And so it's going to pull up for us Ecclesiastes 1:1. So there it is. So here you have got your scriptures, okay? So we're looking at verses 1 through 3. Now, if you'll notice over here to the side, this little button that says Tools, you're going to click that, and it's going to come up here on the top. We'll get into this later. This is your Greek and Hebrew lexicon. It's got your Hebrew word, your Greek word, how to pronounce it. We'll get into that later. This is your copy of your interlinear Bible. We'll get into that later. But we're going to go up here, this little tab. I hope you see it. It says commentaries. So it's got all kinds of commentaries. You've got an audio videos, commentaries over here. You've got text commentaries. The Matthew Henry right here is the one that I was reading out of in that condensed version. So if you click on commentary for Ecclesiastes 1, it says, in this chapter we have, and it goes through that overall thing just like it did in the book, okay? But you're going to go down and see where it says Ecclesiastes 1 verses 1 through 3. You're going to look at, here's an account of the penman of the book. It was Solomon, and it goes down. So here you can see a little bit better. You see where I'm talking about the words that are in italics? That is the words that it's going to be building upon. So in our Bible text, it said, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. So this is going to be building on those words, the preacher. Okay, so it says, which imitates his present character. Go through here. Perhaps Solomon intends to upbraid himself with his eminency, which contributed more to anything in his apostasy, for it was to please his wives that he set up his idols. Okay, so you go down and you read each of this stuff. And it may not make sense just like this. Go back and forth and back and forth. And if it doesn't make sense, grab you another commentary. But then I told you, see here, this is talking about the son of David. So in our text, it said the words of the preacher, the son of David. So this is going to be talking about that phrase alone, the son of David. And it tells you who he was. It was a great honor to be the son, okay? And he was valued. It was, you know, you look at all of this stuff. It gives you Bible verses to reference. So this tells you that he also looked upon as a great aggravation of his sin, that he had a father who had given him a good education and put up many a good prayer for him. It cuts him to the heart to think that he should be a blemish and a disgrace to the name and family of one such as David. It aggravated the sins of Joachim, that he was the son of Josiah. And so it tells you here that you can click that and you can understand what it's talking about. So it says, shall thou reign because thou clothes thyself in cedar, not thy father, and eat and drink, and do judgment and justice, and then it was well with him. So this is explaining what this over here is talking about, okay? So you go on down, and here it is, King of Jerusalem, which again matches up with your biblical text, the King of Jerusalem, and explains what all of that means. Okay, you go on down here, and it says, let's see, we'll go on down and see where it says they are all vanity, vanity of vanities, all vanities. This is all talking about that. Again, more biblical references for you to use. Just keep on scrolling down. This is the phrase, what profit has a man of all the pains he takes? And then it talks about all of that. And then you continue scrolling down. If you will notice, the next part is Ecclesiastes 1 verses 4 through 8. So you want to study it in the sections that's available for the commentaries. I'm going to go back to commentaries really quick because my husband just come in. I hear him. And I'm going to show you these other commentaries. You'll go back to the Ecclesiastes 1:1. Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause it for a second. So you'll go back over here to tools, and you'll go back to commentaries, and you'll notice there's a Chuck Nelson, there's a David Zuick. His is very good. I use that one a lot in my school stuff. And then this is another commentary that you can go through. The question is, Ecclesiastes isn't about the existence of God. The author is not an atheist, and God is always there. The question is whether or not God matters. The answer to that question is vitally connected to his responsibility to God, and it goes beyond this earthly life. So there's additional stuff in here that's not in the Matthew Henry commentary. Again, a lot. This works the same way. The words of the preacher, it talks about that. Then you scroll down, it talks about, again, the preacher. And then here it tells you, in Hebrew, this word translates into kolahith, okay, which is someone who might gather, lead, or speak to a group of people or a congregation. Again, as I mentioned before, us as believers. Okay, so you go down, and who is the preacher in this particular text? It was the son of David, the king of Jerusalem. Okay, so you go on down. You see, it's pretty much the same thing. And it talks about the problem is presented, the meaningless of life. And that's what Ecclesiastes 1:2. It's the preacher's summary overall. Life is vanity without meaning. Okay, so it goes through. A wisp, it talks about a vapor, a puff of wind, a mere breath. Nothing you get your hands on. You know, all is vanity. So I hope that gives you some insight about what to use for your studies. I encourage you to pick out one chapter. Do not, if you get in it and get yourself confused a little bit, back off. Just do a little bit of portion at a time. Again, remember before you do any kind of Bible study to pray any unconfessed sins. God can't communicate with us when we have unconfessed sin in our life, because God cannot look upon and associate with sin. So for us to hear God, what he's trying to tell us as we read his word, we have got to be in fellowship with him, and that is, you know, confessing, Lord, I have failed you. This is what I have done wrong, XYZ, and allowing him to speak through us. He will, you know, God, I don't understand this. Show me, and he will. Pick you out a chapter or a couple of verses and try it out, see how it works. Comment below, let me know if you prefer the book method or the online method. And again, shoot up any questions that you have, and I'll be glad to help you. Our next video we are going to be looking at is going to be the Concordance, which is a fabulous tool, which is by far my favorite, the Concordance. And you can go hog wild deep with that resource. And then we'll look at the lexicon. If we don't look at it in the next video, we'll do another video on it. So, all right, hope this serves you well. And again, let me know how it helps you. Have a great day.